Welcome everyone to the second day of live Zooms for Operation Occupation, Unlock Your Potential. And today we're joined by Sammy Schrag of 605 Sires and Donors, and she's going to share what a day in the life of a marketing specialist looks like. Sammy's a recent ag communications graduate from South Dakota State University with minors in animal science, social media, and journalism. So we're going to spend some time learning from Sammy why marketing and communication appealed to her as a creative outlet so she could utilize those experiences in her family's full service beef reproduction center and watch it grow. So I am Deanna Gall. I'm the 4-H Youth Program Advisor for both Hutchinson and Turner counties. And myself and my coworker Sonia Mack from the Brookings County 4-H Youth Program Advisor and John Madison of Beadle County, as well as parts of our workforce outcome team, have worked on this program together. So welcome everyone. And to start off, Sammy and I braved the cold and it was -7 last week. And we're going to show a quick video to help show you what their business is. So just hold on one moment here and I'll share my screen and then we'll get to talk with Sammy some more.
3, 2, 1.
Well, hello guys, welcome to 605 Sires and Donors. I am Sammy Schrag and I am our branding and marketing specialist. This is actually our family business. We started this about 5 years ago and we are a full service beef reproductive facility. So when calves are born all across the country, there's a pretty good chance that we had a hand in something to do with that. So we collect semen from donors for ejaculates to make more embryos essentially, and we also collect those embryos from the donors. So a lot of beef reproductive facilities are only on one side of the spectrum, but we deal with sires and donors, which are cows and bulls essentially. And so we really pride ourselves in working with some of the best genetics in the country. If you're into genetics and mating things and how making the best animal possible, there's a pretty good chance that you'd enjoy what we do here. And so we're just really grateful to have expanded and grown as much as we have in the past 5 years. We never would have expected that we would be here today, but the support of the livestock industry is, just unmatched. And so here we are today. We're actually in full service construction. We are expanding and adding more things. We have barns that can send, that hold bulls where we can send semen to Canada. There's a whole special regulations and processes for that, and so we have a special barn for that. We are building a barn where we can make semen that either is for bulls or heifers. So, if you only want to have heifers born that year, you use sex semen, and we can make that here. So that's an exciting thing that's going on at 605 right now. We sell show feed, we sell Sure Champ, we sell Sullivan Supply. So really, there's a lot of tricks of the trade that we have here, and we're really, really excited to be one-stop shop for all livestock needs.
So everybody back to the screen with Sammy? All right. So we wanted to give an overview of what the business is because so many times we start talking to people and we have no idea what the business actually looks like. So Sammy, I'm going to start off with some questions for you today. And Sammy wants to be able to share her experiences to try and help youth and others understand what some of the opportunities may be in the state of South Dakota and elsewhere. So first off, where are you from, Sammy?
I am from Marion, South Dakota, just southeast of Sioux Falls, as you guys I'm sure know. I was born and raised here. Mm-hmm.
And when you were in high school, what type of activities did you participate in when you were in high school?
I was super active in 4-H, a program that I love and don't regret absolutely one bit. I did FFA all throughout high school. I was in band. I took girls basketball stats. I'm not an athletic girl, so stats was where I landed. And so I really enjoyed that. And I do really think that you can hone in on a few things in high school and really excel at those. And so I definitely enjoyed it.
That's good. And where did you go to college and get your degree from? We kind of shared it in the beginning, but in case others missed it.
I went to SDSU, go Jackrabbits, and I graduated last May with a degree in ag communications, as you said. So I loved my time there.
And you had a couple minors as well, correct?
Yes, yes. It's really cool in that program. A lot of the minors intermix a lot. So I actually ended up with animal science, social media, and journalism.
Wonderful. A lot of minors there.
A lot of minors, yeah.
Right now, obviously, you work at 605 Sires and Donors in Marion. It's just south of Marion. Why did you choose this profession?
So I just really love the creative aspect that marketing and communications gives you. You know, I am not a numbers girl. I don't necessarily love doing math and crunchy numbers. So being able to write and design and do that kind of sort of stuff just really appealed to me. You know, I actually started out egg business when I was a freshman at SDSU and I didn't like it. So I switched over to egg communications and found my niche there.
Yes, I would definitely say you found your niche there. And what products or services does your business provide? Like beyond, like we showed some of it in the video, but
Yep. So the main service that we provide is collecting sires. So beef producers across the country will bring their bulls and we will collect semen for them. You know, some people want 100 units, some people want 1,000. It just depends. And then they go and use that semen to produce embryos. They either AI with it to make live calves. They can IVF. They can flush with it. They can do whatever they want, but it is quality stuff for all of those things. And then the other big service that we provide is the IVFing of donors. So I don't know if any of you know anybody in humans who have done any IVF work, but a lot of time, or no, not a lot of times, but sometimes people who have trouble getting pregnant do IVF work. And so what that looks like is when you take the oocyte, well, what it looks like in cows anyway, is when you take the oocyte, which is the unfertilized egg from the cow, and then you actually fertilize it in a petri dish outside of the cow. So you can fertilize as many eggs as they'll give you. You know, some cows fertilize 30 eggs at a time. Some cows just do 3. It totally just depends on the mating and the cow and just there's so many variables. But so those are the 2 main services that we provide. We also sell show feed, sell show supplies. You can get a lot of different things here. So.
Sure. And I know the other day when I was out at 605, in your construction out at 605, like right now you walk in the main doors and there's several large semen tanks.
Yeah.
And those will move. And what's going to be in that area when that moves?
Yes. So like she said, we are like just construction everywhere right now. So we are adding on to our lab essentially. And so what that new lab will be is a sexed semen lab. So right now, when we collect semen, you don't know if you're going to get a bull or a heifer. You have 50-50 chance either way. And so in this new lab, we will sort semen to where it'll be either female or male, so that when you use that semen, you'll know that you're going to get a heifer, or you'll know that you're going to get a bull. So that is what that new lab will be. And we are super excited to get that up and running here in April.
And are you going to be able to have some of your branded products out in that, like when we walk in where those tanks are now? Is that where you're going to have some of you have a lot of attire? I know.
Yes. Yes, like this, as I'm wearing. Yeah. So when those tanks move to the other side, I mean, they're huge tanks. There's like 6 or 7 of them. They take up a ton of space. So when they move to the other side, we will have a whole Sullivan Supply display, a whole Umbarger display, and then we'll also display our apparel because we are big believers in branding. So whatever we can slap our logo on, we like to do.
And so is that part of your job? I mean, are you the one that kind of coordinates all of that?
Yeah, that is definitely something that I head up. So I work a lot with Abby Cribbs, a local designer, essentially, or whatever. She does all of our clothing and stuff. And so just getting our logo out as much as possible, I think is really beneficial. So that is something that I
down to the fact that I recently saw you're going to have onesies soon if you don't have it.
We are going to have baby onesies.
So they have lots of options there. So, and I know it's a family business. So it's not that you started, but your family started it. Can you share how your business really got started?
Yeah, so I actually vividly remember this. We were driving to Sioux Falls. My parents were in the front seat. I was in the back seat. I was a junior in high school at the time. And Dad turned around and he said, "So I have a crazy idea." And when that comes out of my dad's mouth, you never know what it's going to be. And this time it was that he wanted to build this beef reproductive facility. And so we just talked about it a lot as a family. You know, it was a big leap of faith when we did it. When you start anything, you know, there's always faith that goes into it. And for us, the pros outweighed the cons, and it's paid off. So it's been a super fun thing to watch grow and develop.
And definitely very family oriented.
Yeah,
Is your
both
brother
sides are-
Jackson working? I mean, I know he's going to school right now. Is he able to still work with the business quite a bit too, or just kind of,
Yeah, no, definitely. Chores on the weekends and that kind of sort of stuff. The four of us are all very involved.
there's always something to be done out there.
No doubt.
So in your work situation, what type of activities are part of your day in your work?
Yeah, so I run all of our social media accounts. We have Facebook, Instagram. We're also doing a complete rehaul of our website. So I work really closely with our website designer, getting her all of the content, all of the photos, all of that kind of sort of stuff. I also input all of the donor side into our database program, and that honestly takes up a lot of time. There's a lot of information that goes into each donor when you collect them every week. So I do a lot of that. We're in the heart of our busy season right now. So I do a lot of shipping, helping Katie, our office manager, ship semen out and that kind of sort of stuff. But the main thing I do is definitely the creative aspects of it, the apparel, the social media, that kind of sort of stuff. So that is super fun.
And I know you've got some photos of things to share. Do you want to share those now, or do you want to go through the rest of the questions?
I can certainly share them now if you want.
If you want to share some of that now, I think that might help.
Yes, absolutely.
And I haven't seen any of the classes get on, but that way they'll be able to see it when they watch the recordings.
Definitely. Okay. Okay, so this is just one example of a social media graphic that I made. So when you approach a graphic, it's sometimes you get writer's block and sometimes you have no idea what to do. But so this is something that I just came up with, something that I learned in college in my social media classes was that when you post to social media, you should do one of three things. You should either entertain, inform, or persuade. And so I like to do a little bit of all of them on our page for sure. And this is just one that's just purely informing. Lots of people, when they bring in bulls, they don't know exactly what they need to bring or anything. And so this is just an outlet that lets them know that. So I don't know. One thing that we're really branding right now is our colors, and we just got a new logo. So the 0 here is, stands for the bull and the heifer, essentially. And so just the orange on the one side, the maroon on the other, the more of that that you can do, and just to keep things consistent every time you post on social media is something that I really learned that helps brand your business. And so that is something I try to do when I'm working on graphics and that kind of sort of stuff. And then let's see here. Get this one away. Oh gosh. Bring this one over. Okay, can you guys see this still on Facebook? Okay, so then this is just an example of something that's a little more entertaining, a little also informing.
Seeing the one you had up, Sammy.
You can only see the one I had up.
Yeah.
Okay. So where did we go now? Updating library.
There's still this tips for bringing walk-in bulls is the one that's up there right now.
Okay. Well, where is my little stop screen sharing thing?
If you go
here before. There we go. Stop share. Sorry, it was hiding. Okay, so let me share this one real quick. Okay, so here, this is an example of a Facebook post that I did a couple weeks ago. And so it's where it's a little informative, a little entertaining. If you know Corey Thompson, you know that he loves to dive right into things, and Destroying This Wall was all about it. And it's just funny when you post things that people think are entertaining. Like this post is one of our most liked things on Facebook within the past 6 months. So in that regard, I learned a lot of that kind of stuff in class and in college and what to post and stuff. So doing that kind of stuff takes up a lot of my day, and I definitely enjoy it. So that is all that I have there. And so that's just a glimpse into my social media life. Deanna, I think you're muted.
I try to follow some of your posts and see the variety that you have out there as well. So, what advice would you give a young person considering a career in your current profession?
I would say my advice to somebody pursuing a career in marketing, communications, anything like that, it would be to just try it. If you like social media right now and you don't necessarily want to go get an internship, find a producer who needs social media. I know so many old men who are beef producers who could really up their social media game. So if you literally just ask them, I'm sure they would, love that. I think just trying it and doing it, practice, nobody's a great designer to begin with. Nobody's a great content writer to begin with. You have to really try things. And, if you can get a degree in some sort of communication, marketing, that is definitely beneficial. Definitely beneficial.
Sure. And I know you said before too, you used a lot of YouTube tutorials.
Yeah, I mean, you learn a lot yourself. It's up to you to stay up to date on the trends, what's new, what's cool. And so YouTube is definitely your friend on how to do those sort of things.
And you're better at Canva than I am.
I don't know
By a
about
long
that.
shot as well. So, and proofreading.
Yeah.
Do you have others that proofread for you, or how do you, do you have others that get another eyes on things?
Yeah, just to get another set of eyes. I mean, you can think you proofread it a million times and it's perfect. And then I'll have Katie, our office manager, look at it and she'll be like, do you see that this is spelled wrong? I'll be like, oh my gosh, that was totally a typo. And so just getting another set of eyes on that, because, if you want to portray a, face of we're a great product, or a great service, we take things seriously, you don't really want to have typos in your social media. It really doesn't help your brand at all. So
exactly. What is the most exciting thing about your job?
Most exciting thing about my job. I would really say that we always say that change is inevitable, but growth is optional. And so I really think that being able to grow with the company and, just the new opportunities in which with each growth, you meet more people. And so just the people that I meet on a day-to-day basis are awesome. And so I would say that in combination with being able to be a little creative is definitely my favorite thing about my job.
What is one thing about your job that might surprise people?
One thing about my job that might surprise people. Okay, so this isn't necessarily about my day-to-day job, but one thing about our employees. So right now there are 10 of us that work at 605 Sires, and half of us have 4-year degrees, 4 of us have tech school degrees, and one of them has a high school diploma and some really great work experience. So I think that one really cool thing about our business essentially is that there are so many different areas, and those require different levels of education. So a lot of people think, to work in a lab, you need a 4-year degree, and, you can, and that's wonderful. And that experience is very welcome, but we teach you a lot of what you need to know here on site. And so I just think that there are a lot of different educational experiences that you can have and still have a really great opportunity in a career in ag.
And in all aspects of the business, like some parts of that business you're inside.
Yep.
Some parts of that business you are not.
Yes.
So being prepared for which side of that you might be on. Does anyone in our audience who's on right now, do any of you have questions for Sammy? We'll have some classes that will be watching these recordings and using them with their students. So the more questions we have for Sammy right now, the more that may help them. And they will have an option to send in questions as well to be answered later. But any of you that are on right now, do you have a question for her?
Sammy, did you take any graphic design classes at college, or did you just do social media classes, or what did you do?
I took a couple graphic design classes. I was going to go full to a graphic design minor, but it just didn't work out in my schedule. But I did take a couple of graphic design classes, and those are pretty hardcore. I mean, you got to be really into InDesign and Illustrator, and they definitely opened my eyes to some of the tools that both of those things have. So that was definitely beneficial.
Did you have a favorite class at SDSU?
Favorite class at SDSU? I would say one of my favorite classes at SDSU was actually Intro to Basic News Writing, which is interesting because I don't work for a newspaper right now. But that class really taught me how to organize my thoughts in a clear, concise manner. You know, whether you're writing a newspaper article or content for social media or a website, you know, you have to be able to get your point across to where people can understand it. And so that class really taught me how to write clear and concisely.
Sure, good.
Yeah. So that is what I would say.
Hey, Sammy, this is Oakley Perry at the State 4-H office. I'm a big photography person. I have several cameras, love videography as well. And when we look at that communications realm of photography and videography, I know myself personally, it's easy to get caught up in what's the newest gear, what's the newest camera, what's this type of lens I can have today. And if you're into that at all, you know that can be a big money pit. What do you say to someone who maybe a 4-H'er who is very passionate about photography, but may not have the funds to necessarily throw towards that money pit of the nicest and newest gear? How can they still be involved?
So that's a great question. And I'm really glad you asked that, because actually at SDSU, I took a basic photography class, and that whole class was based around how to take great photos with not a lot of gear. And so we just had normal little Canon cameras. They were nothing fancy by any means. And then he just really showed us how to edit them and how to make quality photos with, you know, as some people would say, a normal camera or not a fancy camera. And so that was the whole first half of the class. And the second half of the class was iPhone photography. And even, you know, if you don't want to go spend $5,000 on the newest, fanciest camera and lens, you can take really great pictures on your iPhone. And so that's what I would say, was that you can do a lot with what you already have, if that makes sense.
Sure. Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
With your addition that they're doing at 605 Sires, do you plan to hire more people?
Yes, we'll actually probably hire one more person. Part of my role will end up over there in that lab too, so I'll probably spend more of my time over there than I would do now. But so yeah, so things are constantly growing. They actually told us that we might need to hire 2 more people, but we'll see.
Okay.
So
how many years of school did you have to go to?
I went to 4 years. Yep, at SDSU. But, you know, I know lots of people who are just startup communication people who found a social media platform and ran with it. So I think you can definitely learn a lot on the internet.
Sure.
So.
Hi, Sammy, this is Becca. And maybe you mentioned just this earlier, and I apologize if you did, but when it comes to creating social media and your marketing documents, are there certain programs that you use that you are favored of, or that you have favorites, both that are maybe a free variety or maybe something so that people can get their feet wet in it a little bit, as well as something that you use that maybe cost a fee as well?
Absolutely. So I am a huge fan of Canva. It's just straight up canva.com. They have a free version. You can go on and they have design templates. You can design, any sort of social media graphic. You can design an infographic. You can design a letterhead. Like, you can do basically anything on there. And I find it super easy to use. And so they have a free option. And then they also have they call it Canva Pro, where it's like $12 a month, I want to say, something like that. And so I really love using their Canva Pro, but using just their free version is a really, really great outlet to get your feet wet and see what you can do. That is a great question, but yes, so I love Canva.
I don't know if anybody else has any other questions. We've had some great questions and you've done a great job answering them on the spot.
Thank you.
We probably should have been utilizing Sammy in our office while she was going to school or before then, but she was always busy as well too. So it's fun to see how much people accomplish learning. Oh, I think Chris may have a question.
Sammy, I do have a question for you, and I apologize, I didn't get on right when you started. What vision does 605 Sires have for the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay, can you repeat that? I'm sorry, you cut
Okay.
out the first.
What vision does 605 Sires have for the next 5 to 10 years?
It's a really good question. So I would say that our vision is really to never limit ourselves. My parents really have the mentality that if someone else can do it, why can't we? Why can't, even if you know nothing about it, you can always learn. There's always people who are willing to teach you. And so that's something that's just kind of been bred into me. So throughout the next 5 to 10 years, we just really want to be servicing our customers as best as we possibly can, providing a quality product, and, really want to be the one-stop shop for all things beef reproduction. So if there's any other sort of service that we can add in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll definitely look into that. We don't like staying stagnant. We like, staying up to date and being relevant within the industry. Is how I would answer that.
Thanks, Sammy.
Yes, thank you.
If I was a high school student and interested in a career in marketing, what are some things that I could maybe start doing today to get my feet wet and find out a little bit more if I'm really serious about it?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So one thing that I was surprised when I got to college is that some people already had a portfolio made, and that people were just really wanting to see your work and see things that you had already done. So if you're in high school and you have any sort of interest in this, I would put together a portfolio. That's any pictures that you've taken, any social media graphics that you've designed, anything, social media, communications, marketing related, any print ads, anything like that. If you put that all together in a nice, neat package, you'll really have a head start on a lot of other people.
Anyone else have any questions? And if anyone thinks of questions afterwards, you can either email me, those of you that are on here, or we'll have a spot within the Training House course that you can ask questions, and I'll get those to Sammy and get them answered for you as well.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything that we haven't covered that you can think of that you want to share, Sammy, or have we kind of covered everything?
I think we've pretty much covered everything. I'm by no means an expert in this field. I think you have to have a lot of years in experience to really, have a grasp on everything. There's so much that I don't know, but I'm really excited to learn. And so I think you can never stop learning. That would be my last thing.
And that's a good attitude to have in life, period, is that you can never stop learning. And I can attest to that. You guys are constantly growing out at 605. So it's fun to watch that growth and know that, we're in rural South Dakota, and to see that kind of growth and success, and a family business just really working together to determine what their next plans are and how to make those work. So it's great. And be sure to thank your family for letting us take some of your time during your busy season, because I know
that is totally fine.
It is super busy this time of year, and a lot of the year at 605, but especially right now. So if no one else has any other questions, I'll take a couple seconds here and wait to make sure, and then I'll just stop the recording so that we can download that later on today or tomorrow morning and get that out to those who are going to watch the recorded versions of this. So thank you very much for joining us, and everyone else that's joined us. And if you have a question, feel free to ask that, and otherwise in a few seconds we'll stop the recording.
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.